Hello, my friends, and welcome to She's on the Money. I am Victoria Devine, and around here, we are all about making money a little less overwhelming. We have a community of more than 300,000 people. We have podcasts and blogs. We also have freebies like budgeting tools and investing cheat sheets to help you feel more in control of your financial future.
She's on the
Money.
She's on the money.
My name's Natasha Bamblett. I'm a proud First Nations woman and I'm here to acknowledge country. Hello, beautiful friends. We gather on the lands of the Aboriginal people. We thank, acknowledge and respect the Aboriginal people's land that we're gathering on today. Take pleasure in all the land and respect all that you see. She's on the Money podcast acknowledges culture, country, community and connections, bringing you the tools, knowledge and resources for you to thrive.
Our DM this week, hi, She's on the Money. My partner works from home and I'm on the road all the time. We split bills like power and internet 50-50, but he can claim part of that back on his tax return while I can't. I'm not sure if it really makes a big difference, but it's been on my mind because our last power bill was huge. He's getting a really big tax return, surprise, coincidence, and I've got an unexpected bill from a payroll error. I agreed to 50-50 when I moved in, so I've never had an issue with it, but now I'm wondering if I'm kind of subsidizing his work from home costs. Do other people take this into account when splitting bills with a partner or housemates, or am I just overthinking this?
I'd be curious to know how often this person's on the road, because it sounds like a lot of their job is, first of all, I find it I would be a bit irritated that like if it was the other way around, if I was working from home all the time and my partner was not really, and then we had a huge energy bill, they wouldn't even have to expend any mental energy at all. I would be like, wow, I'm home most of the time. I'm going to figure this out. So you don't have to be paying 50-50. Also, that the fact that you can get a little bit back on tax or you can claim it on tax would absolutely come into my mind. And the other person wouldn't even need to think twice about it. I would already be like, cool, this is the split because I'm always home, you're never home. You know, it's so annoying that that's not just like a default thing that your partner's thinking.
Just goes to logic and putting the other person in the best possible position.
It sucks because then you feel awkward and you've got to maybe you'll have a fight, maybe you won't, maybe they'll get angry, and so it's just anxiety inducing, you know what I mean? So that sucks and I'm really sorry, but with that, it's probably pretty clear where I sit on this because I think absolutely
really?
it should be about, and I think this is the right word, equity, no, yes. And if you're home far less, if you're home every evening, then maybe from 5 p.m. onward, maybe it kind of all comes out in the wash, but you still shouldn't be paying as much. But if you're on the road a lot and you're barely home except for on the weekends or something like that, then it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer that your partner should be paying 70%, depending on. Figure out how often you're home. And if it's 70% of the time, if it's 30% of the time, then you pay in 30% of the energy. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a no-brainer for me. You should definitely be paying less.
Yeah. To play devil's advocate, interestingly, energy off-peak rates are during the day. So it's actually cheaper to use energy during the day than it is in the evenings, generally speaking. I would say, yeah, kind of similar to working out, if you have a provider or maybe look at changing to a provider, some providers allow you to track your hourly energy usage. I think that's a really good way to look at it. Because if I think about me working from home, the only significant electrical cost is heating, cooling. When I'm not using lights because it's daytime, so I don't actually need to turn the lights on.
Right.
I will
And you're also pretty good with the heater and the cooler anyway.
Well, I was going to say, the way that we've kind of worked it out is we'll turn the heater on in the morning when we're both home. As soon as it hits 18 degrees or a comfortable temperature, we then turn it to our holding temperature, which is 13, 14.
And you would have left it on that anyway.
Correct. So we've kind of worked out, and that was something we had to kind of trial and error. We went through a phase where our heating bill was astronomically high, and absolutely I recognized, okay, well, I'm home a lot, doesn't need to be on, let's change that. But I think looking at the breakdown actually would probably be quite interesting, because if I reflect on me being at home, the electricity usage would actually be relatively minimal outside of heating and cooling, which we've obviously now found a middle ground on. obviously like me and my partner have spoken about it. He's really happy for it to be 50-50. He stays up late when I go to bed. So for us, it kind of does come out in the wash.
Yeah.
But it would be if that's something that's on your mind, something you're stressing about, I think exactly as you said, finding a way to quantify the difference in usage, the difference in cost is important, because it may also be that you might discover, oh, well, actually in the evenings when we're both home and peak usage is really high and we're running the TV and the dryer and cooking dinner and doing all of those things.
That's where it's all coming
That
from.
accounts for a lot of our electricity usage and you don't realize it. So, and it
point.
could be the other way. It could be that the daytime usage is absolutely eating it up, in which case, completely agree. Equity is the way to go if that's what you want, and that's very fair and valid. But I think having an understanding of how it actually all breaks down, because it isn't quite as black and white as whoever is home is what the usage equals, is just worth considering, I would say.
It's a really good point.
That's really fair. I feel like I'm kind of on both sides. Like if you're working from home more consistently, I would also assume that your grocery bill is being impacted by this, because maybe they're eating lunch at home more regularly. I'd be like, okay, how do we split this and what is fair? I mean, for me personally, it's never been something that I've had to discuss. I've never lived with someone who worked from home. And if they did, it was like an odd rarity, because I had housemates all prior to COVID and we weren't allowed to work from home. And now my husband works from home a bit, I work from home a bit, and it's just not something I've really thought of. But I do think the equity thing is the fairest. Because it's like, well, I don't know, maybe your partner isn't as considerate as a Jess in this situation and does have the heater on 24 all day while you're out. All the lights are on, like they leave the fridge open. Who knows? Yeah. At which point I would probably be saying, hey, how do I have this conversation? Don't think any conversation is unwarranted, but like I would be open to what their thoughts are on that first, not going to them with a solution. I'd be like, hey, do we need a solution for this? Because this kind of seems crazy. Or blame the She's on the Money community and say, oh, someone in the She's on the Money community was saying they split their bills like this differently. Should we be relooking at ours because you work from home and seeing what happens? Because I think that can be a little less confrontational, because you're right, Beck. Like if you get the bill and then you have to have the conversation, that can be quite confrontational, and they'll be like, oh, what the hell? You said you'd pay 50 cents. Why are you going back on that? As opposed to an open, honest conversation about like, okay, times have changed.
Yeah.
I saw this thing. Could this benefit us?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's probably where I'm sitting.
Yeah. What did everybody else say?
So obviously we all had thoughts and feelings, but we first asked a few questions. First question was, what is the work from home situation in your house? 48% of you said one or some of us work from home. 40% said none of us work from home, and 12% said all of us work from home. We then said, what would you do in this situation? 36% said add the tax refund to the bills kitty.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
32% said adjust based on usage, and the other 32% said keep it 50-50. Now, we also went to the community and said, guys, what is your 2 cents? First person said he should only be claiming tax back on the portion of bills he paid, not the full bill anyway.
Which is true, yeah.
It's a good point.
Oh.
Next person said, tell them to buy you something pretty.
I'm not mad about that as a solution. I'm going to be really honest.
Yeah.
I put it in there because I was like, that's funny.
Yeah.
Next person said, these situations can turn into tit for tat. For example, I'm not home on the weekends though. I go to footy all day
Yeah.
and I don't use any power. What about that?
That's true.
So I think we need to just zoom out and have a holistic view of these things before we start a conversation. Next person said, internet bill, same either way. Electricity would be hardly a little different. Overthinking, but it's good to be aware. Next person said, I work from home 2 or 3 out of 3 days. I try not to add any additional power minus my laptop because that shit is speno.
It's true.
Yeah.
Next person said, if this was a housemate, I'd probably have an issue, but with a partner, I think it balances out. Yeah. And then another person said, equity is not equal. 50-50 only works if you're using and earning exactly the same. Otherwise, you need to split proportionally. You've been in the comment section, Beck.
Yeah. It sounds a little bit like me.
And then the last one that I'm going to leave you with is a really good contribution. And they said finder.com.au actually has a really good breakdown of what work from home costs look like. Have a look and go from there.
Oh, clever.
We've got a little resource. We've got a little opinion. You got everything, I think, from that response.
Yeah.
Guys, I think that's a very good way to wrap it. Thank you for doing another Friday episode with me. And we'll see you bright and early on Monday for a Money Diary. Have a good weekend.
Bye, guys.
Bye.